Hello everyone. Today we will show you about the largest and most successful ram breeding operation in New Zealand and New Zealand sheep farm. Wairere is New Zealand's largest and most successful ram breeding operation. Wairere Rams has been breeding rams for over 90 years. Stock carried: 5,450 ewes, 1,500 ram hoggets, 2,200 ewe hoggets, 150 rams and killers, totaling 9,300 sheep. Wairere has an effective area of 1,070 hectares. A total of 1,206 hectares of medium to steep Wairarapa hill country. Rising to a height of 532 meters above sea level. The climate is typically wet in the winter, dry in the summer, and has a Class 1 wind zone, average year-round wind speed of 35 km/h on the high ridges. The average rainfall is 1,125 millimeters, but the 6 months from November to April average around 400 millimeters. Only 2% of the land is flat. The wet, cold, windy climate puts one's constitution and feet to the test. The sheep are guided into the shearing shed. Years ago, sheep used to be hairy, with only a little bit of wool next to their skins. But after centuries of selective breeding, the domesticated sheep has lost the hair and grown only wool. And that's because farmers and people want wool. On a good day, an experienced man can sheep about 400 sheep, spending only 1.5 minutes on each one. This man has done thousands of sheep on hundreds of farms. And when it's winter in England, he goes to Australia, where it's summer, and carries on working. It's a hard job that needs a steady hand, careful not to nick the sheep's delicate skin. It has to be said that this isn't a very pleasant time for the sheep. But don't worry, because they're not hurt and it only happens once a year. But what a relief when it's all over. The heavy fleece comes off in one piece. It's dirty and greasy. While it's rolled out, the shearage's on with the next animal. The fleeces are tightly packed together and sent away from a farm to a factory. And here they will be cleaned for. Although all the grease helped to keep the rain off the sheep, we don't really want it on our woolen clothes. The dirt is removed by water, detergent and alkali in a process called scouring. The scoured fleeces are all along the conveyor to the drying chamber. And finally, the fleeces are sucked up a pipe that leads them into the carding room. Inside, a roller armed with thousands of tiny wire hooks plucks away at the meters, lining up all the fibers into a thin sheet of material we call web. The web is done into roving, a sort of group. If you look closely, you can still see the little fibers sticking out in the spinning process. These fibers will be wrapped around each other more and more tightly to make a strong thread. Eventually, the reels of wool are ready to leave the factory. And here they are on a knitting machine. Just look at this gorgeous range of pullovers, sweaters and cardigans.